Hey guys, what's up? Some of you wanted me to check out this channel called Siim. I'm going to be reviewing his full day of eating. Apparently, he's a self-proclaimed longevity expert. We'll see.
Visceral fat is this unhealthy kind of fat around the organs and around the liver. And having too much visceral fat is a big risk factor for heart disease and all-cause mortality. The average healthy person...
No, not in itself, but because you need to eat absolute junk to get so much visceral fat, you could indirectly link it to that. Sure, yeah, but it's actually caused by the food, of course.
Between the age of 20 to 30 has been seen to have about 500 grams of visceral fat, which is quite normal. The problem is that you can't see visceral fat because it's located around the organs. That's why the only way to really know about your visceral fat is to...
Technically, you could see it if it would be a lot. There would be a bulge.
DEXA scan. I recently took a DEXA scan and my visceral fat was 54 grams, which is up to 10 times lower than the average 30-year-old who isn't overweight. For reference, Brian Johnson's DEXA scan results showed he had visceral fat of 0.42 liters, which is...
Brian Johnson is not healthy, that's for sure. His body fat is way too low. That's why he looks so old. That's why he has so many wrinkles. He generally looks very unhealthy, and you also do. That's the first thing that I thought of. Your body fat is too low. You don't look healthy. There's nothing good about this.
If you convert it into grams, is about 378 grams. And Paul Saladino's recent DEXA scan showed he had 0.3.
Also very wrinkly. His body fat isn't that low as far as I've seen, but probably also too low.
3 pounds of visceral fat, which is 136 grams. In this video, I'm going to share with you my full day of eating that has enabled me to achieve such low amounts of visceral fat. I'm going to make a...
You probably starve yourself and exert yourself by working out. This much stress is going to deplete the fat in your body. Nothing surprising about it, if that's what he will do.
Full video about how to reduce visceral fat in the future, so make sure click like and subscribe for future videos about living long.
Starve and have a lot of stress, just like all of these clowns do it. None of them know anything about longevity.
Younger and staying healthier.
You son of a...
Alright.
Younger and healthier. He's 28 or 29 years old. That's what it says online. When I first saw him, I thought that he's 31, 32. At the very best, you could say that he looks his age, but he doesn't look younger, that's for sure.
So it's 7:18 a.m. in the morning. I'm gonna have some green tea. We have some sort of organic loose leaf, extra fine green tea. And yeah.
Is it just me, or is the sound of the video super weird? I guess that it's bad editing or a bad microphone.
I'm just going to scoop up something like this much. I never really count how much I take, but it's, I guess, maybe even like 3 tablespoons of green tea. I'm gonna use this pot usually to make it. So I'll make an entire batch for the day and I'll consume this entire thing, which I think makes
Chelsea green t-shirt or tank top.
it's usually something like three cups.
He even listens to fake metal, poser metal.
3 to 4 cups at maximum. Maybe usually 3 is probably the more accurate. And then I'll just sip it throughout the day, usually more in the morning half. A 2012 randomized controlled trial showed that catechin-enriched green tea for 12 weeks resulted in greater visceral fat loss.
Yeah, because it's toxic. Of course, it depletes the fat in your body. He doesn't get it. How do you think your body responds to toxins? You create white blood cells in the bone marrow, and you need a lot of fat to do that. He doesn't get it.
In the placebo group. Another 2009 study found that green tea catechins enhanced the loss of abdominal fat from exercise. Exercise did reduce visceral fat and total fat mass, but the green tea...
Oh, this guy is completely obsessed with losing fat for no reason. That's why your skin doesn't look good. You're absolutely missing fat.
Tea group combined with exercise lost more fat across the board, as well as visceral fat.
Well, yeah, if you exercise, you stress your body. It's extreme stress. You deplete the energy in your body. That also accounts for fat, obviously. And the more you work out, the more cortisol you produce. When you exercise, your cortisol skyrockets. And the more you break down the collagen in your body, the older you will look. Look at anybody who works out. All of them look older than they are. It just always. And if a woman eats a plant-based diet and works out, then she will always look like she's 40 when she's 30.
Compared to just the exercise group. So green tea intake does appear to result in greater visceral fat.
He also has some kind of, maybe it's just weird lighting. The colors don't look right, as if he's trying to make himself look different. Yeah, this guy doesn't look good. I can see through it.
Even if you combine it with exercise. So one thing I've heard is that you shouldn't let it to boil 100% when you're making green tea. So it should be like slightly below boiling point. And yeah, I'm just going to fill that up.
Green tea is simply green leaves in boiled water. That's essentially it. Or if you use a powder, then it's powdered green leaves. You have to be insanely brainwashed to put green leaf powder into boiling water and then drink it. Now think about it. Think about going outside, picking green leaves, making them into a powder somehow, if that was even possible naturally, grinding them up somehow, and then adding boiled water to it, which also doesn't exist in nature, and then drinking it. Think about it.
So it's been a few minutes and we're just gonna pour it out. Looks green. Or
Hey, yeah, it doesn't look appetizing, right?
You know, semi-green, so that's a good sign. And
how is it a good sign? What are you talking about?
You know, you could also add glycine to your green tea. I don't like green tea with glycine that much. I prefer adding glycine to like coffee or milk.
Into boiled water? Then you destroy it. What's the point?
Strawberries, which you know, is quite low in calories, 32 calories per 100, 60 calories for this entire thing, and
pesticide-ridden fruits and a bunch of powders. He doesn't even eat any real food at all.
10 grams of carbs, which is a really good mix. Now, what I like to do is also add dark chocolate. So this is dark cacao.
Yeah, of course. You need caffeine because you have no energy. Obviously, with such low body fat, how can you produce any hormones?
Powder. And this is a quality brand from Iwo. So I'll put, and this again, like for taste preference, if you don't like cacao flavor, especially with strawberries, then you don't have to put it. But you know, the cacao flavor with bananas is great in my opinion. So I'll put 1 scoop of this cacao, dark cacao, raw cacao powder with high flavonoids.
Flavonoids, which are toxins. He doesn't get that also, for sure.
And what I like to do is also add a little bit of psyllium husk. So this can tend to make it a bit more thicker. You can also add pectin, which is another great way to make it thicker. And the final ingredient.
Wait, he adds fiber to it? Why? Is this guy on TRT or something? Realistically, if you don't consume any fat, and if this is actually your diet, you can't gain any muscle whatsoever. You can't maintain anything, it's just impossible. I don't know what else he eats, I would have to see. But with such low body fat, your testosterone will be in the double digits, realistically. You just can't produce any testosterone. You would have to consume some kind of drugs.
Right now, like it feels like you're cheating on your diet because it's like ice cream, tastes like, or has the consistency of ice cream. In addition to the protein shake, I do actually have about 5 walnuts and a piece of dark chocolate, which I forgot to record. All right, it's going to be dinner time soon. We're going to cook this 600 grams of sweet potatoes. We're going to cook it in the oven. So I'm going to just...
You had a bunch of powders, so-called supplements, with berries, some caffeine, and now a potato? Where are the animal foods?
Into some pieces first. And yeah, it's going to be like sweet potato fries, except, you know, they're not cooked in oil or stuff like that. I'm going to cook these kind of...
Sweet potatoes have a lot of oxalates.
Sectors, you know, you can make them however thick you want them. Put it in the oven. I'm going to cook it at 205 degrees Celsius.
There's no ovens in nature. How would you be eating them raw? You couldn't, because it's not edible food. Not that they even exist like this in nature anyway. They are super small.
For 21 minutes is the sweet spot that I found.
Wow, 60 minutes of zone 2 cardio? And no wonder. And he only eats plants. It's not even possible to do this without drugs.
So this is what I'm having for dinner.
What kind of dinner? Cucumbers only have pesticides, fiber, and water. Not even any micro or macronutrients to speak of. Basically, you're just eating water. And tomatoes, really also the same.
These are cucumbers and tomatoes from my mother's garden. This beetroot salad, it's like beetroot vinaigrette. Kimchi as well. Some leftover egg whites from my wife who eats the
Egg whites. Not even the yolk, just egg whites. A pure starvation and malnutrition.
yolks, and I'll eat the egg whites. So this is what the plate is. Tomatoes, cucumber, beans, beetroot, some egg whites. And this is, the meat jello. This is a gelatinous meat dish, traditional meat dish here in Estonia.
Oh, he's from Estonia. Okay. That's the only kind of so-called meat he consumes, the gelatin. Oh my god, his body fat is so super low. He looks really sick. Man, you're going to regret all of this badly.
Yeah, and it's cooked in like the bony parts, so it becomes gelatinous. So that's why it's called meat jello, and it's super delicious. And it's I think it's a very good balance for glycine and methionine. You get a bunch of glycine from there. And these are the 600 grams of sweet potatoes, and also today I bought.
How much are you gonna get from it? You do understand that the cooking process destroys most of the amino acids anyway. Very little.
And this is extra virgin olive oil. This is pretty kind of.
Where did he get this idea from, Brian Johnson? Polyphenols, the bitter toxins, which make you want to throw up when you drink this garbage.
It's from Italy, and
Who cares where it's from? It comes from bitter toxic fruits. Are you stupid?
they're very tasty. It's quite spicy.
Oh, yeah, it's very tasty. Oh, spicy. Yeah, spicy means toxic. Try drinking the whole bottle. If it's tasty, you should be able to. Why not? If you like the taste of meat, then you eat a kilogram of meat. No problems. But if you like the taste of the olive oil, why not drink it? Would you not be able to drink a liter of blood, raw milk? Of course, because it's tasty. You like it. This tastes like garbage. You hate it.
So there was a recent study that found that 3 tablespoons.
Man, this guy just talks about studies non-stop, none of which prove anything anyway. He didn't present any legitimate studies, nothing scientific, just some correlations, which is what these studies of today are usually about.
Spoons of olive oil per day was linked to 20%.
Linked, that's what I mean, just linked, correlation, whatever. Doesn't mean anything. Could have nothing to do with it whatsoever. And it doesn't in this case.
Lower mortality.
Yeah, lower mortality, of course. Or it's something completely else that they did, and they simply consume olive oil, which actually decreases their longevity. You have no idea, because it's a correlation, it's linked. It's a religion. And these studies of today are more religious than the Bible. I'm not even overreacting.
Compared to 1 tablespoon. So
what compared to 1 tablespoon, whatever, how many tablespoons, what does it matter? I could also just say, I could make a study and say that if you read the Bible 3 times a day, then your mortality will decrease. If I would simply take some random people who read the Bible, it's nothing to do with the Bible, obviously, but it also has nothing to do with the olive oil, simply because they pick out something that they want to sell you, and then they link it to lower mortality, it prevents heart disease, whatever you want, because if it's a correlation, then it's religious, and then you can link it to anything. I could make a study about anything on earth, and I could always find a way to link it to health benefits, but it's not proof. It's anti-science.
For the sake of that, I'm gonna add 2 more tablespoons. It's like, I guess, 400 calories extra.
Yeah, you do understand that none of this is found in Estonia. What are you eating there, man? Maybe the gelatin, but not that way. It's not natural, man. Estonian men back in the day, and women of course also, used to eat elk, deer, whatever they could find there. Wild boar. That's what you should be eating. And raw.
And yeah, just getting some of that tasty olive oil in here.
Stop lying to yourself. We know that it tastes bad. We know that you hate it, but why do you have to lie to yourself? Drink a liter, throw up, hopefully you don't land in a hospital, and then make a video again how it's tasty. I'll be waiting for that.
And yeah, that's it. If I were to guesstimate the calories, then it's the sweet potatoes are something like, I guess 500 calories, the olive oil 400, so 900.
It's hardly digestible. You don't understand the biological value of food.
The egg 100, blah, blah, blah. So I guess like something like 1300 calories, something like that.
Shut up.
And yeah, it's quite easy.
800 at most.
For me. And I eat it with a spoon. Before you laugh at me, then, you know, in the military, I always ate everything with.
He went to the military. Slave. Slave. You slave. He went to the military. I can't.
With a spoon, because, you know, if you're in a forest, then you don't have time to cut the food with your fork and knife at a fancy restaurant. So it's like quick and easy. You can use it as a knife. You can use it for a soup. You can use
it as a knife? What?
It as a fork. So this is the original multifunctional tool, the Swiss Army knife of cutlery. So yeah, I always eat with a spoon. Yes. So yeah.
I pretty much always eat with my hands. I don't even know when I use a spoon or anything. Can't even think of it. A ground meat with butter and honey, if I eat that, it's been months since I've had that, then I would eat it with a spoon, yeah.
And some regular water here. Also, what I forgot to...
He seems very depressed because of the low body fat. You have to be biochemically sick, which he is.
Record was that after my dinner, I had the same protein ice cream, but this time I made it with 2 bananas. And I used only 20 grams of protein. And I also eat 3 Brazil nuts after dinner, which is 100 calories. And lastly,
for the selenium,
I eat a kiwi about 2 hours before bed because there's research
for the oxalates again.
That it helps with sleep. I want to...
Yeah, because of the serotonin. Again, I've never heard of a plant, a fruit, having animal hormones.
Take a quick break to announce you that you can now order my book, The Longevity Leap.
Man, this guy even has a book. Oh.
Containing over 8,000 references to scientific articles and studies, The Longevity Leap is an evidence...
What about the studies? I'm going to link them in the description, which show that exercise most definitely decreases your lifespan.
Based overview of the biology of aging, chronic diseases that kill most people, and practical lifestyle routines that have been proven to improve your health and slow down aging.
Oh, and the best thing I didn't even notice, he has I guess a cup of coffee right next to the book. You would think that it's some kind of like parody joke. Toxic seed water next to a book about longevity. Oh, you can't even make this up. He's making fun of himself, of his own book.
You can order the book at thelongevityleap.com. With your order, you will also get 2 bonus chapters. One...
I wouldn't even take it for free. Why would I order and pay for it?
About skin aging, and the other about my personal routines. Head over to thelongevityleap.com to get your copy today. So this is what a typical day of eating looks like for me. In total, for a day, I'm getting about...
For me, you sound kind of Swedish.
2,300 calories, 125 grams of protein, 75 grams of fat, and about 240 grams of carbs. As you can see, I'm not on a zero sugar diet. I get over 200 grams of carbs on a regular...
You don't understand anything. Look up the biological value of the food that you're consuming. You're not getting that many macronutrients whatsoever, that many calories.
...basis. And my visceral fat is extremely low.
100% on TRT, 100 million %. He doesn't even eat any fat in the day, basically at all. He has no testosterone himself. It's impossible. No.
And my blood sugar markers like hemoglobin A1C and fasting insulin are also very low. So despite eating over 200 grams of carbs a day, my insulin sensitivity is very good and my visceral fat is very low. Sugar intake is generally associated with higher visceral fat stores, but I think it's mostly a concern if you're actually overeating calories and you're gaining weight.
Well, yeah, obviously. You can eat as many fruits as you want. Pretty much.
Fat intake is also linked to visceral fat, and again, it
yeah, if you would overeat on a lot of sugar, honey, fruits, and a bunch of fat and protein, you could gain weight. But if you eat until satiation, then it's impossible. This guy, he's so blind. He's such a slave. He simply reads studies and doesn't actually have any common sense. He doesn't listen to his own body, what he actually wants.
Matters more if you're actually gaining weight. Other than that, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to click a like and subscribe for future videos about living longer and staying healthier. My name is Siim. Stay optimized, stay empowered.
We are going to quickly check out another video he made called Why Garlic is a Superfood. I'm not going to watch all of it. I can't anymore.
Superfoods is somewhat of a misleading concept because it has no objective criteria and you can apply it to almost any food. Eat berries for vitamin C. Superfood.
The vitamin C in berries is the plant vitamin C. You need DHAA as an animal. And you're an animal, in case you didn't realize. For vitamin C, you need to eat liver, spleen, drink blood, eat organs.
Food. Eat meat for iron. Superfood.
Meat for iron. Meat has every nutrient. That's why you eat meat.
But in my opinion, garlic could be considered objectively a superfood.
Yeah, of course. One of the most toxic plants on earth is a superfood. Absolutely.
Because of its metabolic effects on the human body and how it's seen to improve health in human clinical trials. I'm not talking about garlic bread, just regular garlic. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the research about garlic and also the amounts that is beneficial to eat. Garlic is an
There are no beneficial amounts. Even the slightest bit is going to toxify your body. That's why you smell so badly when you consume garlic. The body really tries to get rid of the poisons.
Vegetable, which is a relative to onions, shallot, and leeks.
Also all toxic. That's why you want to cry when you cut open onions. It's the poisonous defense mechanism.
It's usually used as seasoning in food and it's been a part of
Yeah, very little is used. Simply because people can't take a lot of it. Otherwise they throw up, get hospitalized.
Mediterranean, Asian and Middle Eastern cuisine for centuries.
The reason people in warm climates used garlic and other so-called spices is because when there were no refrigerators, which was pretty recent in a lot of the countries, you had to somehow get the ants and other insects off the food. And that was the only way to do it. They ate raw meat, but they put some kind of spices on it to get the insects off it because the spices, garlic is so toxic that it kills them right away. Whereas in humans, it only kills your cells. Seeing as a human would need to eat a lot of garlic to die from it. Your body rejects it so badly that it would be almost impossible for you to swallow a lot of it. You would have to force yourself.
If you've ever eaten garlic, then you either hate it or love it.
Everybody hates it. Some people simply talk themselves into consuming very small amounts of it.
I feel like there's almost like no middle ground. Most people will either like it or don't like it.
Everybody hates it. Eat a whole piece of garlic. Does any human on earth like it? No, 100%, literally everybody on earth hates it. That's it. It's done. You're such an idiot, I can't.
At all, but it is quite a unique food in that sense. First, it probably has one of the strongest odors out of all foods, and you can recognize the
odor's poison!
Smell quite easily. Secondly, it's effective against vampires, so maybe that's the reason some people don't like it.
Yeah, it's a way for the elites to make fun of you because you're a vampire in reality. You just don't realize it, tool.
When it comes to the health benefits, then garlic has been seen to work on dozens of different pathways in the body that have anti-inflammatory, anti-platelet, antioxidant, anti-lipidemic, anti-diabetic, anti-atherosclerotic, anti-apoptotic.
Yes, it destroys your cells. It kills bacteria. It reduces the fat. It kills the fat cells because it's toxins. It's all saying that it's a toxin.
Totic, antibacterial, and endothelial benefits.
Antioxidant also. There is no such thing as something that's antibacterial but isn't toxic. Something that's antibacterial is something that kills life forms, it kills organisms, it kills your cells. There is nothing besides toxins that does that.
Garlic thus might have therapeutic effects on things like atherosclerosis, metabolic syndrome, and cardiovascular disease. Looking at mechanisms is one thing, and garlic has quite compelling mechanistic evidence, but we should base our decisions predominantly on human clinical trials. Fortunately, there is quite a lot of human clinical trials on garlic which supports its mechanistic evidence. For example, a 2015 meta-analysis of clinical trials showed that garlic intake lowered systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. The effects were seen in people with already existing hypertension more so than in people with normal blood pressure, and the dose for maximum benefits was 480 milligrams of supplemental garlic for 12.
Blood pressure is simply how much your heart is pumping blood. That's it. Any kind of toxins will regulate it, depending on what state your body is in. That's not a benefit by any definition.
Weeks. A 2024 meta-analysis of clinical trials showed that garlic supplements lowered fasting blood sugar, hemoglobin A1c, total
How exactly is that a good thing?
cholesterol, and LDL
How is lower cholesterol a good thing?
cholesterol, while also increasing HDL cholesterol. In this study, they used both raw
HDL is simply the cholesterol lipoprotein. There's more than cholesterol in lipoproteins. As the name says, lipoproteins that travel back to the liver. LDL goes to the skin, for example, to produce vitamin D, and then HDL comes back. But he probably believes that HDL is the good cholesterol and the LDL is the bad one. It can't even be more brainwashed than this.
Garlic as well as garlic extracts. Another 2024 meta-analysis showed that garlic could also reduce waist circumference and inflammation in
Yes, toxins kill your fat cells.
addition to the cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar. This makes it potentially useful for alleviating metabolic syndrome, which is a major risk factor for heart disease. Because
No, I already explained that. He doesn't get it anyway.
garlic is high in sulfur, it supports the production of one of the main antioxidants in the body called glutathione. In elderly people,
That's it. I'm done. Oh my god, he's so dumb, I can't. Oh my god. Glutathione is released as an immune response to toxins. I can't. I can't watch this anymore. How do you not understand that? If glutathione is released after you consume something, then you consume something toxic. It's your body's actual real antioxidant, not the toxins from the plants, which the slaves of today call antioxidants. No, it's actually a real antioxidant produced by your body, an animal antioxidant. Why would you produce an antioxidant in response to garlic only because it's toxic? How stupid can you be? I don't get it.
ingestion of garlic has been shown to increase levels of different antioxidants.
Then it means that garlic is toxic, which you know. It burns holes in your gut. It kills your brain cells. That has been proven. Oh my god.
Like glutathione peroxidase and superoxide dismutase, while decreasing markers of oxidative stress. This makes garlic potentially useful for supporting the immune system and lowering inflammation.
Supporting the immune system by triggering the immune system.
Garlic is also a pretty versatile herb that you can use in a lot of different meals. I like to add it to meat and vegetable dishes, but you can also use it in stews or just eat it as a raw snack next to your meal. The only downside is, yes, that it might leave a strong odor, which is why
which is the poison.
I wouldn't recommend eating garlic in the morning or at lunch if you're going to somewhere public.
So you recommend eating something poisonous later in the day or when you're not around people, instead of not eating something poisonous which your body detoxes from at all, and that he can't think of.
I like to eat garlic for dinner, so I get to brush my teeth after that, and I've also discovered that
you literally sense that it's bad for you, but instead you brush your teeth and keep reading your studies.
Garlic is somewhat of like a superfood, and it has nutraceutic properties that go beyond just like regular food.
Oh my god, I couldn't even finish the video. This was way too much. This was pretty much on the same level as that anti-aging expert, the 35-year-old Brandon Miles, whatever guy. And he doesn't even understand what he's doing. The Brandon guy understood that those plant antioxidants are actually defense mechanisms of the plants, that they are harmful, but still somehow beneficial at the same time. That guy made no sense whatsoever, but at least he kind of got it. This guy doesn't get it at all. He literally tells you that your body is going to smell from the poison, but that you should eat it at a different time so that other people are not confronted by the poison which your body is detoxing from. Is it on the same level as a vegan? Just completely counterintuitive, completely going against your senses, ignoring your body, no common sense whatsoever, just studies. Whatever other people tell me. And those studies don't even prove anything, as we saw. And then he also ignores, or maybe really hasn't seen the other studies about garlic and all of these toxic plants, herbs. Oh, how severely people can get brainwashed today. It's unbelievable. And overall, his suggestions are terrible. Why would you buy his book if what he focuses on is having less visceral fat, which he talks about a lot, and generally a low body fat? If you have a low body fat, yeah, then you're going to have low visceral fat, of course. What's so surprising about it? You just generally have low body fat, which is horrible for you overall, especially for your hormones. You would not be able to gain any kind of muscle whatsoever, or maintain or anything at all if you would work out with such a diet. Just terrible. It's absolutely plant-based with some gelatin and dairy. If you really want to live a long life, then you need to avoid all stress. You need to keep your adrenaline, cortisol low, especially if you want to look as young as possible also, which is of course the same thing, but they don't realize it. If you don't look young, then you're simply not young. Doesn't matter what kind of tests you do. If Brian Johnson looks old, then he's biologically old. He tries to look younger with his injections, hair dyeing and whatever, but it doesn't work. Really, it's mostly the editing, actually, in his case. I'm not even sure about this guy, really. As I said, you would need to live a stress-free life, eat raw animal fat, eat a lot of organs, blood. Just chill as much as possible. Be thankful that you're able to live this kind of a life nowadays. And whenever you want to do something, when you have a testosterone spike, then do whatever you want, whatever is possible in the slave system. That's also all fine, as long as you want to. But forcing yourself to run for 60 minutes, and as far as I've read, he works out 2 hours a day, which is crazy if that's true. You're gonna produce a lot of wrinkles. You're just gonna age very rapidly if you do that. This guy is gonna look horrible if he keeps this up. Right now, he is relatively young. He can do it, but not for very long. Some of the worst anti-aging advice I've ever seen. Thanks for watching.